Hi, I'm going to take a few minutes here and help you choose a skirt for high-end kayaking. And high-end kayaking can be defined as whitewater kayaking, where you're going to be running rapids, or sea kayaking, where you're going to be maybe rolling or crashing through big surf, and you need to be completely dry. The first thing you're going to notice about almost every high-end skirt is they're made with neoprene tunnel, neoprene deck. This is the material that is stretchy enough to fit the wide variety of rims that are out there, but also waterproof and reasonably durable. Beyond that, you're also going to find that the industry basically uses two different construction techniques for building a spray skirt. The first is what we call a bungee style skirt, and the second is what we call a ran style spray skirt. The first skirt I'd like to discuss is the bungee style spray skirt, and this is what you might expect. It's a bungee or shock cord sewn right on top of the neoprene. The bungee construction is an outer sheath with latex cores inside of it. And the great thing about the latex is that it has a tremendous amount of stretch to it. Therefore, the bungee skirt works by the bungee being sewn in a ring that's smaller than the cockpit. And then when you put it on the boat, over the rim, the bungee contracts and pulls under the rim. The result of this is that bungee skirts tend to be drier on a wider variety of rims. That contraction really helps keep the skirt tight up against the cockpit rim. The other great thing about bungee skirts is they tend to be easier to put on. The stretchier bungee makes it so they can fit onto a boat much easier. And they also tend to fit a wider variety of rims. If you have a couple different boats in your garage, you're trying to fit all those boats with one skirt, a bungee skirt can be a good choice because typically they're going to be less picky about the size of the rim. They're going to stretch a lot more. One of the downsides of a bungee style spray skirt is that while they're easier to put on, similarly they also tend to slide off a rim a little bit easier as well. You can see here with just a little bit of load, the bungee starts to pull up from underneath the rim. And we've taken measures in this particular skirt to put a sticky silicone material in the areas the skirt's most likely to implode. But nonetheless, that is a characteristic of bungee skirts that you should be aware of. For some people, this is a good thing. People learning how to kayak like to know that the skirt's going to come off the boat very easily. However, for this reason, I would not recommend a basic bungee skirt for running very, very hard whitewater. The other point that you made about bungee skirts is that if you have a composite kayak, that'd be like a fiberglass sea kayak or a fiberglass whitewater kayak like a slalom race boat, you want to buy a bungee skirt. Composite kayak rims can be much, much closer to the deck of a boat than a plastic rim. And many ran style skirts simply will not fit underneath those rims. Also, because composite rims tend to have a very sharp edge to them, bungee skirts not only stay on those boats very well, but they're also very dry. Essentially, with a composite rim, you can get a skirt that's easier to put on, generally cheaper, and fit very well on those boats. You don't need to spend extra money for a ran skirt. The second style spray skirt I'd like to discuss is the ran style skirt. The ran style skirt simply has an extruded piece of rubber or rand glued onto the neoprene. These rands, unlike the bungee skirt, don't have a lot of stretch to them. In the bungee skirt, where the bungee skirt relies on contraction to keep the skirt under the rim, these randed skirts stay on the rim more like with a physical seal, like a seal you'd find on a Tupperware lid. The great thing about these ran style skirts is that the physical seal the rand makes with the rim is very, very hard to implode. This makes a ran style skirt a great choice for running hard whitewater, big waterfalls, or heavy surf where you're taking a big load of water onto the deck of the skirt. The downside of a ran style spray skirt, and this is an important fact that needs to be addressed, is that ran style skirts, because they rely more on a physical seal than stretch to fit them on a boat, they can be very, very difficult to get on a rim. Also, they're going to fit a much narrower range of boats than a bungee style spray skirt. It's important that when you go to buy a ran style spray skirt that you pay attention to the fit chart and you get the proper sized rand or proper sized skirt for your boat. Also, many beginners have a hard time getting a ran skirt on a boat. If you have a little bit of experience putting a rand on a rim, or if you can pre-stretch the rand by stepping on it and pulling up on the rand, it makes it easier to put on the boat. But be forewarned, these skirts are not for raw beginners or people who struggle to put on spray skirts. The other problem with ran style skirts you may experience is that, once again, because the rands rely on a physical seal rather than contraction to stay on the rim, Ran skirts can be very dry on a well-designed skirt, but on a well-designed rim, but on a poorly designed rim, they can leak. Bungee skirts tend to mask problems with poorly designed rims better than Ran-style skirts. To summarize, Ran spray skirts are a great choice for experienced kayakers and kayakers who are really concerned about skirt implosion or where skirt implosion could cause serious problems. The other thing about Ran skirts is they're almost exclusively designed for plastic rims, and because Ran-style spray skirts are usually engineered for harder whitewater, they tend to have more reinforcement on them. So if you're very hard on spray skirts, a Ran skirt may also be a good choice. Bungee skirts, because they're so stretchy, are often a good choice for beginner paddlers because they're easier to fit on a boat. Bungee skirts are also, because they fit a wide variety of boats, are a good choice for someone who's looking to get one spray skirt to fit many different style kayaks. Bungee skirts also, because they tend to be drier on a wide variety of rims, they tend to be a better skirt choice for play boating. And also, if you have a composite kayak, you want to choose a bungee skirt.